Welcome back to NOLA Motorsport. We're just getting a selfie done here in the booth because that's how we roll. Because I'm here with the lovely Ava Dobson, who is trying out racing for the first time in Formula 4 in terms of development racing. She's not actually in the championship right now, but I've been watching her all weekend going around the circuit, and now she's going to get a chance to talk about the big boys, where she wants to be eventually. And a couple of women also involved in this series as well. As there is in F4 as well, as we look at Callum Hedge, who had a sensational race too, and looking for more in the same. But let's first of all welcome Ava. Ava, tell us a little bit about yourself. You're not old enough, am I right, to do the full championship in Formula 4 yet?
Yeah, I'm still 14, so like I got to do like the development series for a while until June.
Till June,
yeah.
That's when you turn 15.
Yeah.
Awesome. And will you jump straight in then?
Yes, I will.
Good for you.
Yeah.
So you have been though in the car this weekend and basically getting some laps, getting some experience.
Yes, I have.
So you're from Wisconsin. Whereabouts in Wisconsin? Cheeseland.
My dad lives in Brookfield, Wisconsin, and my mom lives in Franklin. So, in like the Milwaukee area.
Ah, yeah. Know it well.
Yeah.
Know it well. We go up there. We go up to Brainerd in Wisconsin now and again. So we go racing up there, and I know the women in Wisconsin are hardy women. So I know if you want to take on the boys in motor racing, you're gonna have to be a tough lady. But I figure that from where you are, you will be fine. Road America, of course, that's the other circuit we go.
Yeah.
We don't go to Brainerd at the moment, but great circuit. They've just repaved it. Have you ever been up there?
I have not.
Well, we'll have to get you up there and put you in a car.
Yeah.
So we're starting to look at the FR grid. Is this something you want to end up doing eventually?
Yeah, something similar to it. I mean, they're pretty fast. They're pretty cool.
So where did you start your career? I'm sure there's a lot of young girls out there wondering, you know, hey, I'm 14, I want to go racing. Hey, Dad, can I go racing? You come from a family that knows racing.
Yes.
And has been involved in racing. So that's kind of easier because they get it. But how do you start and what do you do?
Well, I started in go-karts for a while, and like since I was 8 with my dad and with Franklin Motorsports, and then I went on to be with Bennick, and I've just progressed a lot, and I've been doing really well.
Good for you. Well, Ava Dobson, a name for the future, sat alongside me today as we get ready for our FR race. And we've had some good racings, Ava. I don't know, I mean, you've been out being busy, but I've been watching the racing from Formula Regional. And we've got quite a small group this year, but we've got a really interesting group because we've got some guys who are coming here for the first time and certainly taking on NOLA for the first time, and then others returning who've both raced NOLA and know the car as well. So it's going to get interesting as everybody gets dialed in. They head out onto the track, and we've already had some great races from Ryan Shehan, who's won both of the races so far. The young 18-year-old, and I met Ryan when he was your age, funnily enough, in Austin, Texas, and he was just starting out. He went to COTA when he was 8 years old, and fell in love with motor racing, and now here he is on the FR grid. So dreams can come true if you get it right.
Yeah.
Ava, first and foremost, tell me about this track. You've got this long straight here. How is it, you know, in a single-seater car like this?
It's a long track, but it's fun. It's a lot high speed, so draft's pretty important, and it's pretty grippy out there. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, and how is that transition from basically a go-kart where you've got no aero downforce or anything? Is that quite a, you know, does that mess with your head? Does it take a while to learn it?
It definitely does take a while to learn it. I'm still learning it myself. You know, it's first like real weekend being out with everyone, and yeah.
And do you find yourself, is it intimidating when you're side by side? Because karts, you know, you kind of trundle over people in karts because you don't fear anything with a car because everybody's in the same boat, whereas you've got a full metal box around you and a big engine behind you.
Yeah.
Now, is it a bit more, are you a bit more cautious?
I definitely am, because, you know, they're faster, they're bigger, saving everyone some money.
So the family's behind you, dad's behind you, is he pushing you, or at least helping you?
Yes.
Good.
Yes, he is.
So your dad raced, your granddad raced, did mom race? Dad
No,
did.
just dad's side.
So how does she, because it's always the mums you have to get to. When it comes to the budget, you have to convince them. Is she all right with you racing?
Yes, she is. She's pretty okay with it.
I always find that the girls that go well in motor racing are the ones that are good horse riders too, because if you can jump on an animal with no fear and rein that in, then you'll take or a water skier, you know, these girls that have no fear about what they're doing in whatever, you know, sporting attributes they've got, and they just go for it. So yeah, good for you. Well, we wish you well, Ava, and tell us what you see when you see it, because we've got a full race of some 20 minutes plus of the Formula R. Do you know any of the guys in this series?
I just know Ryan.
Yep.
I've heard about him a lot this weekend. He's pretty fast.
Yeah, he's going really well. I've actually spent 6 weeks with him in New Zealand in the last few months, watching him race in the FR Oceania series. So very similar to this, the Formula Regional Americas Championship. Almost identical cars, so it's great learning curve, and that's the beauty of both F4 and FR. It doesn't matter where you are in the world, you could pick up and jump in one of these cars if you're used to them and compete. And it doesn't matter what the engine is, it doesn't matter what the chassis is. They're all built to a spec, and so spec racing at its finest, and therefore everybody's got a fair chance of competing. So the grid lining up, and we'll be underway. How far? It must feel like an eternity from the start of the race all the way to the finish.
Yeah, it feels like forever. It's just like, I want to get to the first corner already.
Yeah, no kidding. Especially when people are behind you. I saw you do a restart in the Formula V race, and I saw you go through the gearbox. You took off like a scolded cat, but because I know you knew they were trying to catch you up very quickly. Well, this is race 3, round 3 of the championship. On go the lights. And in a moment they'll go to 5 and again go out. Revs go up, out go the lights, away we go. And Cooper Becklin on the left-hand side in the Dayglow yellow, trying to get a good start. Away from Callum Hedge, who won the second race, who was podium on the second race, and it is Callum Hedge who takes the lead here from New Zealand. Ava Dobson alongside me. That's just the kind of start you want, isn't it? Now, there was oil down and a damaged car down, so that's going to be a little bit of a problem coming through turn 2. We'll keep an eye out for that. Where would you make an overtake if you were confident enough? We saw one at 4 the other day, but it's tricky in this infield section, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely is. It's like a little nerve-wracking. You don't know if you're going to make it or not, so you just got to be careful, like where you put the car.
Yeah, and how hard when you're amongst other cars is it to judge where the other cars are going to be, or do you get an innate feeling? I mean, you can't be looking in your mirrors the whole time, but do you get a sort of instinct feeling as to where the other people are?
Sometimes I do, but like definitely not all the time, because they're pretty unpredictable.
That's very true indeed. Well, we're looking high above from the drone, and already Callum Hedge building a lead in this race. Got a podium last time out and has come to make some hay here. Another Kiwi coming to America like so many others, and Oliver Westling's gone round. The man who was in this booth not 20 minutes ago has turned it around with Hayden Bowlsbey, the local man from New Orleans, who's just having an atrocious luck this weekend. And I'm sure we'll get another look at that, but I think it was just a racing incident. I don't think it was anybody at fault, really. They just came together, was what it looked like. Let's hope they carry on racing, because what Callum Hedge does not want is for this race to be restarted, or at least to have a safety car where he drags back up and gets caught up by the 29 of Nick Persing. There's Ryan Shehan. He's won both races so far. He's on for the triple. And Cooper Becklin is also looking for a decent race out of this. Ava, let's take a look at what happened there with Oliver Westling and see if we can see it any closer than what you think. Here they are, side by side. Oh, yeah. Okay,
yeah.
Well, Oliver Westling had nothing to do with it, really. He got tapped from Bowlsbey. Whose fault?
You know, I can't...
Hard to say,
It's kind of hard. Yeah, it's hard to say.
I don't think certainly Bowlsbey wasn't intending in any way to barge his way through. I think he just found himself on track and then suddenly found himself up against Oliver Westling. But poor old Westling's had a bit of a tough weekend himself. He went off on the S's earlier in the weekend, man from California. So back to the action. somebody squealing the tires. You can really hear it from up here even. Through goes the 22. That's Max Hewitt. We haven't seen a lot from the Max Hewitt, the kid from Houston, Texas, for IGY6 Motorsports. There he is, out on track, finally. But also, it's good to see Austin Hill out there. He was towed back this morning after some damage to his car. So everybody cleanly through, and Callum Hedge leading the way as he dives into turn 1. So where's the place where you think each lap, okay, I'm going to try a little bit harder here or a little bit deeper here? Is there places where you're still looking at the track and going, I can be quicker here?
Honestly, when I go around the track, I just like choose like one corner, get really good at it, and just like work on the next one that I think I could do better on.
So literally you kind of join the puzzle together bit by bit.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know. I mean, you know, I'm learning just listening to you. That's a good approach, because if you try to do it all at once, you're just going to forget what you learned. And
yeah,
you're right. Having done a little bit of karting myself, I know what you mean. Once you get one corner, it becomes almost instinctual, because you kind of approach it at exactly the same point, you brake at the same point, and then you roll into it. Sometimes you might get it right, sometimes you might not, but you're close enough each and every time, and then you go, right, I still haven't got this one right, or I'm watching the guy ahead of me, and he's faster through there, so why? What am I going to do?
Yeah.
All right, 25 minutes to go in this one, and already the field is spreading out, but it is Callum Hedge at the front of this one from Kiwi Motorsport. Race for M2 competition in New Zealand. And here's a good battle. This is Ryan Shehan trying to hold off the 39 of Bryson Morris. Bryson Morris in a good battle with Callum Hedge last time out, and they're in it again as they come down the straight. And with the length of this straight, you should, I mean, it's harder in an FR car, but you see Bryson trying to jink out, but you should get a little bit of a drag, a little bit of a tow, where the car gets sucked in and gets faster, right?
Yes, 100%.
And is that, how close do you have to be for that to happen?
Honestly,
pretty close.
say, yeah, you had to be close enough to like where you can get behind the guy, because they move around on the straightaways, so you don't.
Do you actually feel it so that you're like, okay, I can go, I'm going faster now, I need to make the overtake?
Yes, okay. Yes.
So we're learning something here, guys. I hope you're listening in, because this is the tactics of how you learn to race at this level. It's all about slicks and wings. It's all about a little bit of downforce and a little bit of skill. You've got more power than you probably need, especially in these FR cars. So it's all about measuring that power against the race that you're in and who you're racing against. And already this field's spreading out dramatically. Still a long way to go in this. And Bryson Morris still trying to make an attack in the number 39. You know, pretty much most of this paddock has come the same way you have, which is through karting and onto this. And it is, you know, it's a really hard learning thing. You know, if you're in school, you'd have time to kind of redo the books or re-over something. When you're in a race, you're learning on the fly, aren't you? You're basically, you haven't got time to, you're either in it or not in it, right? And because they're so expensive, you can't sort of come back in the evening and do an extra few laps.
Yeah.
You got to get it right first time. So we're looking at Bryson Morris doing a good job here of trying to catch the man in front of him, Ryan Shehan. Here he is in the 66. From Austin, Texas. He had a big karting accident actually, and it almost ended his hopes of getting further. But he recovered well and has fought his way back over the years, and it's great to see him at the height of his powers again, and making his debut in FR Americas this weekend with 2 wins under his belt. He'll want to see if he can get on the podium again before the end of this race, and he's certainly on song to do that. He's going to hold off Bryson Morris though for now. So what other sports have you tried, or has it always been, oh, I think I'll do motor racing?
Well, at school I do like track and stuff to just for fun, you know.
Yeah, good fitness. And
yeah.
Do you have a good fitness regime already?
I kind of do. Working on it.
It's interesting. I had a couple of girls that were racing in the Oceania series, and I was asking about their workout regime, because you can't just go to the gym and pick weights up. You've got to be careful about what muscles or what fatigue do you find is the first thing that really hits you after a day of racing? What is it that's tired?
It's usually like my arms that get tired. Yeah, upper arms for sure.
So you're going to have to work out on that. Certainly the neck, as you get higher up the ranks, more G-force, the neck muscles become, you know, very tough to be dealt with. You've got to get strong neck muscles as well. I've heard that's another good reason. But you also don't want to overly build muscles. You want to stay light, and you're the perfect size for a racing driver. We'll get you into IndyCar, no problem. But it's good to have that, you know, Danica Patrick, one of the things that everybody said, well, say she's so light, you know, she's got the advantage over us. But, you know, hey, you take what you can. Danica Patrick recently retiring and now going into the world of TV. Doing a good job, too. Now, back to the action. At the moment, Callum Hedge leading this race. A recovery by Oliver Westling and Hayden Bowlsbey, and they're back at it again. So no love lost. They've come together, and now they're back out on track against each other. Meanwhile, at the front, Callum Hedge still leading. This is a good battle because Nick Persing won't let him go at the moment. And he's close enough, isn't he, to be able to make a move. Have you been watching Persing? He's been doing radicals as well as he's been racing in 2 series this weekend.
Oh, really?
Yeah, brilliant stuff. Yeah, he's pretty on it. So we know his fitness level is good because he's been 2 in 2 championships. But I was saying to some of the other guys, watching it on TV, you just don't realize how physical it is. I mean, when you get out of the car, are you exhausted?
Sometimes I am when it's like really hot out. Yeah, I get pretty tired afterwards.
So fitness is key. I always hate it when people say, oh, these racing drivers, they're just adrenaline junkies. And well, it's not the case. You have to be very fit, very focused. You're putting your life on the line, let's face it. You're in a big metal machine, and it really is fight and flight. So your every sense is heightened because of what you're doing. And you have to be every part of an athlete you possibly can be. Having done quite a lot of sports growing up myself, never motor racing mine, but I know what it takes to be an athlete, and I know that racing these cars, having just done a few laps myself in some race schools, you do have to be on your game to get it right. So which section of the track do you like?
I like the S's. Yeah. That's my favorite part.
Pretty much flat out, right?
Yep.
But it's easy to get wrong though as well. We saw Oliver go off earlier this weekend.
Yeah, it is. If you mess up like a little bit or you hit the bumper wrong way, you could spin it out pretty easily.
And how's the car? Does it give you feedback? Does it let you know when you're pushing too hard or starting to lose it?
Yeah, it definitely does. I could like feel it in the rear end. It just wants to like spin out on me.
And what do you do at that point? Do you put the brakes on or do you let off the gas?
I let off both. Just like let the car settle down a little bit and then just like get going again.
Okay. You're listening to Ava Dobson, one of our development drivers. Just 14 years of age. She'll be in the championship. She just reminded me, when's your birthday, June?
June 9th.
June 9th. Bring it on. Can't come quick enough. Well, it's not that far away.
Yeah, no. Should be closer.
What are we getting? A new suit? New helmet?
Get a new suit.
All right, new suit. Good. You'll go faster in a new suit. That's definitely the case. Always is. Ryan Shehan pushing on now. Currently in 4th position. It's been a big weekend so far for him, and he's going to be leading the championship at the end of this weekend if he continues where he is. And I think that's a smart move by him. I don't think he's going to make in 17 minutes the lead of the race, especially with one of his fellow Oceania competitors in Callum Hedge at the front. Bit of smoke there. I don't know what that was, whether it was a lock-up or not, but either way, we're still going. Another lock-up there. So the man in front of Callum Hedge, that's Cooper Becklin, is making quite a few mistakes in front, and that's why he's caught up. locking up, maybe pushing a little too hard. Here come your leaders. This is a good battle because Callum Hedge just cannot shake Persing. Let's look at the lap times. 1:37.2, 1:37.4. How close are you watching your lap times? I know you're learning, but are you kind of mentally going, right, I was quicker that lap, or?
Yeah, I can definitely tell when I'm going faster than like one lap or the other.
And do you come in and get over the data afterwards?
I do, always.
And do you enjoy that side of it? Because that's a huge part of modern motor racing. I mean, it may not be the fun side, but it's an important side.
Yeah, no, I love learning new things with Jay and the team. They're constantly helping me through everything.
You'll laugh at this. I asked the team manager what it was like to work with female drivers and male drivers. And he said, what I like about the girls, he said, they listen. You tell them something to do and they go and do it. Whereas the hot-headed young boys, they're like, yeah, I'll take it all on board, and then they go do something different until they finally realize that you're right and you know what you're talking about. Whereas the girls tend to trust that you're in that position of being a driver coach or an engineer for a reason, and you're trying to soak up as much information as possible. So there's an advantage, so keep that.
I will.
15 minutes to go. Callum Hedge leading this race from Nick Persing. Persing's had one heck of a weekend. He's going to be exhausted by the end of it. Callum Hedge coming into this from New Zealand. He's on a plane tonight off to New Zealand, straight from New Orleans. He's flying at 9 p.m. tonight, and off he goes back home for a few hours. Quick shower and a shave, I would have thought, and then he's off again and back to Australia, where he's racing in the Porsche Carrera Series and racing for Earl Bamber. And that's going to be quite an eye-opening year. So he's already done one, was it Crowded House, the group that said 4 seasons in one day? Well, Callum Season's doing 3 seasons in 1 season. Brilliant. So it's going to be a long year for Callum, but he loves every minute of it. And just like Ava alongside me here, loves being in the car at all moments. Now, this battle started to rage again between Bowlsbey and Oliver Westling. Bowlsbey got it wrong last time, in my opinion. And I don't think Westling will be letting him pass too quickly, do you? So, where do you reckon, Ava? He's going to have a move here. Go through 3. I've seen a couple of inside moves in 4 here. Callum Hedge tried one, but that's not the line, but he just sort of stuck his nose up the inside and made a move. So it can be done there. But from here on out, you're pretty much in one line, right?
Yep.
And flat out?
Flat out.
Flat out through these corners, loving it. Now to the back part of the circuit and what we've been calling the S's, and they are just that. And in a single-seater like this, they are flat out. And that was where Westling made a mistake earlier. Likewise, in the Trans Am race, Justin Marks went off there by just touching a wheel on the grass. And he said his tyres weren't up to 100% temperature, and he just went flying off into the grass. Luckily, he saved it and came back for a 3rd place. So this is a nail-biting fight at the front for Callum Hedge, because he cannot shake Persing at the moment. And they're swapping, not fastest laps per se, but they are right in each other's wheel tracks. 1:37.4 last time out, and a 1:36.9. So Persing actually quicker than the man in front of him as we go back to Ryan Shehan. His last lap at 1:36.3. But of course, he is battling with Cooper Becklin, who made a couple of lockups a moment ago, and now the 3 of them are on track because Bryson Morris has caught up with both of them. So Ava, I'm guessing that FR is something you've got your eye on in what, 2 or 3 years?
Maybe.
Would you do other kind of racing? I mean, you're starting in single seaters. You're doing the obvious, karting to single seaters. But what else would you be interested in?
You know, I'm not really sure yet. I haven't had like
Why should you be?
Yeah.
That's perfectly fine. But
Yeah.
no, do you like sports cars? I mean, or is single seaters?
I like the single seaters. Yeah, they're fun.
I always think that most people in their teens like to stay with single seaters, and then they'll branch out and they'll discover. But if you lose the focus of single seaters, people don't tend to look at you seriously. And you're saying the right things, because at this age you want to focus as much as you can, because there's so many people at your age trying to do the same thing, and it's hard. you know, if you don't focus, yeah, it's really tough. But you're doing the right thing. And come June, you'll be hearing from Ava Dobson. What's your number? What's going to be your number?
21.
Perfect. She's going to have the 21, and she's going to be racing for J. Howard Development. So we'll watch her on the F4 grid when she gets there. She'll be joining the likes of Hannah Greenmeyer and Maddie Oast. Have you met either of those two?
I've met Hannah Greenmeyer, I think, a few times. So.
Good karter herself.
Yeah, she is.
Accomplished karter for Scusi, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the first female to go and win the Pro Tour.
I think so, yeah.
Pretty impressive. So then, this three-way battle, and it's going to decide the podium because Cooper Becklin is hanging on in there at the moment. And you can see, look, Ryan Shehan all over the back of him and the clock ticking down. And if anything, I think Cooper's a bit of a sitting duck at the moment. Even from these TV pictures, you can see that Ryan's faster, can't you?
Yeah, I can.
Cooper's doing a good job, though. There's not that many other places to overtake him, so if he just defends as best he can, he might hold him off. It just depends how aggressive. I would have thought Ryan's in two minds here. And here comes another man to the battle, and that's number 12. That's Manuel Roza of Mexico City, another young teenager coming through. Has been racing in NACAM in Mexico and flying the Mexican flag. His parents here this weekend. I met them earlier. And not too many drivers coming out of Mexico City in the last few years, but great to have him on board as he chases the likes of Pato O'Ward, who of course is in IndyCar currently. There's Esteban Gutierrez and of course Perez. Now in Formula One, but all starting out in this, and this is where all the stars of the future start, which is why I love having people like Ava here in the booth, because we get to know the names before perhaps they make it in this game, and it's nice to be able to say, oh yeah, I remember them. Oh, a big lock up from Cooper. He's struggling here, and now Ryan's got to be careful because Roza is coming through. He is having a ball out there. Suddenly he's found a new wind here, and he is coming fast. We've got a four-way battle, and Cooper Becklin can't hold on forever. Where's the safest place to make a pass? 13?
The safest place?
Well, I mean, safest in terms of not getting yourself in trouble. I'm thinking coming up into this next right-hander in a moment.
Yeah, 13, I'd say for sure.
All right.
You can really get it in there and just show them that you're there.
Yeah. And that's the point, isn't it? Because it's so easy. This is where we're talking about right here.
Yeah.
But nobody overtaking this time out. But the next opportunity will come at turn 1 as they come through the Mission Foods turn 15. And they are like a freight train, all stuck together. And now Roza right there with them. Now, Cooper, can you hold them off, I wonder? Down the main straight they come. Here comes Ryan Shehan. Looking for a way past. The clock is ticking down. 8 minutes to go. He looks to the outside, and that is a possible overtake, because if you can get round the outside, you'll have the inside line to the next corner at turn 2. And the inside line at 3, which is another left-hander. No change yet. Yeah, I had a little lunch with Manuel. Nice kid. Oh, and another lock-up at turn 4. That's the second time. And I don't know what it's, the balance of the car or the tyres just going off. What do you think? I mean, do your tyres start locking up like that?
Yeah, sometimes I do that when there's like a bunch of people behind me and I'm just trying to I just don't want them to be behind me anymore. I just want to be gone away from them. So you start stressing out.
Yeah, literally, you start stressing out. You start over-driving. And I think, if anything, I don't think he's trying to slow them down. There's no reason for him to do that. He wants to stay ahead of them. But I think he's actually driving in his mirrors, which they always say, don't drive in your mirrors because it's only going to stress you out further. Because what you end up doing is looking at the guys behind you, worrying too much about that and missing your braking point.
Yep.
Easy to do. Yeah, and it's easy for me to sit here and say that. Callum Hedge, though, continues to lead. Now, here's Roza in the 12. There's the Mexican flag with the American flag on the side of it too. They base themselves out of Houston, Texas. Down that long, long straight. It must feel like you go on forever. You could write your to-do list going down that main straight. Ryan, with 6 minutes to go, is definitely thinking about it. Now, he knows that turn 4 is a possibility. That's where it seems that Cooper's struggling. We're coming up to 3 now, the Bennett's Bridge Hall corner. And let's see if Ryan starts to make a move here as they come towards 4. Yeah, again, the lock-up on the right front. You know, oh, and that was a nudge from Ryan. And, well, they say Robbins racing, but that was a little too aggressive, but I think he just banged into him, really. He wasn't expecting him to be that slow as they exited that corner, but it's not helped Ryan Shehan at all, because now the man behind him, Bryson Morris, is right there too. So a bit of a moment there. And you don't want to upset the car like that, do you, Ava? I mean, it's all very well to hit the back of somebody, but you could unstable yourself and then spin around quite easily.
Yeah.
So we've got Ava Dobson here in the booth. She's been. When's your next development drive? What will you get out again?
Road America.
Okay, cool.
So I don't know who I'll be racing with, but
doesn't matter.
Yeah, just
go for it.
As long as they're cool.
Yeah, I watched Wyszynski do that last year, and there was no question. You could see him improving as the season went on. So here's the interval, half a second between Hedge and Persing, and it's not changed all race long. They've got a huge lead to Becklin, Shehan, and Morris, who are in their own battle with Roza. And this is a 4-way battle for the podium. Behind them, that battle between Westling and Bowlsbey continues. Westling holding him off in 7th place, and then it's Hill, Hewitt, and Janzen. And again, Ryan Shehan tucked up behind the 19. And I can't think that Ryan's going to be happy sitting behind here, because he's already nudged the back of him. And as they come into 3 here, we're coming into that vital turn 4 where Becklin really does seem to struggle. Let's see what happens this time. Well, he's a bit more gingerly through that corner, but he's still not quitting. You can see how close that Ryan Shehan gets, and he's going to try around the outside now. Is this his chance now? Ryan Shehan now looks to the inside. He just can't find a way, and if he can't find a way past him, Morris and Roza are going to pounce. And you find yourself getting frustrated when you're in a battle like this, and it doesn't matter whether it's karting or F4. If you're constantly trying to overtake, you're actually slowing each other down, aren't you?
Yeah, you are.
And so that is also a problem for Shehan, who's got the opportunity, but he just can't make it stick. So he's going to be frustrated too. Nah, come on, Ryan, get through those S's. Now make your dive. And he can't do it here again. And to be fair, Becklin is doing a good job of staying on the racing line and staying in the middle of the track, if you will, or at least making it hard for anybody who wants to overtake him to overtake. He's just making sure that if you want an inside move, you've got to make it stick, and if you want to go around the outside, and that might be what Ryan Shehan tries to do this time. He got close last time, but here comes Morris as well. Here comes Shehan. He's gone to the inside. Now he's going for the overtake. And this time it could come off, and he's side by side with Becklin, and Becklin just squeezes through. Well done, Cooper Becklin. Back comes Ryan Shehan, and, well, Cooper Becklin's lost out. Roza's gone with him. This is great stuff by the 2 Crosslink Kiwi boys. And the 18-year-old Ryan Shehan makes up a spot and onto the podium. What do you reckon, Ava? All fair?
Yep, all fair.
Okay, we've got our driver's eye here. She thinks it's fine. And, yeah, I think it was, well, it was bound to happen at some point that Cooper Becklin would lose out. And that was good driving from Ryan Shehan. He just set him up there down the long straight and then forced his way up the inside, leaving Cooper nowhere to go. But Cooper kept his foot in, tried to get round on the outside and then on the inside of the second corner, and then just got hung out to dry a little bit, and Roza came through as well. So this is going to be a good result for the young Mexican driver. If he can get a 4th out of this. Remember, this is his first weekend in FR and in America. So really impressive by him. Ryan Shehan's been around this single-seaters for a couple of years now. He was 4th in the championship in Formula 4 last year, was vying for the championship, had an accident at VIR where he was taken out of one of the races while he was in contention, and then mathematically when they came into Kota he could have won, but it wasn't to be. Now, Ava, I want you to see what you see here. We're going to have another look at that overtake. You take me through what you see. So he's coming up side by side. Now, what does Cooper do wrong here? He just went a little too strong. Do you think it was a bit too hard into turn 2?
Yeah, I think he might have been, or he just caught the marbles a little bit and just kind of went off.
I think he was trying to defend his position too hard, and by the time he got through one, like you say, we went wide. And once you're on those marbles, well, you tell me, it's pretty slippy out there. It's like ice, isn't it?
Yeah, it can be when you get in the marbles. Like
when we say marbles, just so you understand, we're talking about the tiny bits of round rubber that come off the tires, and they roll up into literally little marbles, and they feel like marbles when you're on them because they're so slippery, and so they're called the racing marbles. Now, a man with plenty of marbles is this man, Callum Hedge, and he's got a strong lead now. While we've been watching that battle, he's been building his, and it was half a second a while ago, but as you can see, the white flag comes out, and Callum Hedge is in a huge lead now of over 6 seconds as he crosses the line for the final time. Here comes the number 17, Callum Hedge, to make a little bit of history for the Hedge family, because this will be the first Hedge to win on American soil. Doesn't come from a racing family. The lady next to me, Ava, does, but Callum basically jumped into motor racing, tried a bit of rugby, found he wasn't great at that, and said, right, I'm doing motor racing. And ever since, he's put his head down. He's won in tin tops, continues to win in tin tops and Porsches. He's won in single-seaters, got several wins, I think 4 wins in the Oceania Championship on the way to being runner-up in that, picked up a bunch of super license points, and looking to do the same again here in the US of A. Like I said, he's flying out tonight to go back to race in Australia, then he'll be back in a month's time to race again in FR, doing the full season, and this bodes well. The weekend didn't start perfectly for Callum. He had a gremlin in the engine in qualifying and qualified 4th after getting several really good practice sessions in. But this is the Callum Hedge I've come to know over the years, just dominating the tracks and dominating the racing, and also racing hard all the way to the finish. And the Giltrap group on the side of the car, and the Tony Quinn Foundation, as they were back at home in New Zealand for him. And another Kiwi is going to win in America. We've got so many of them here at the highest level, and now Callum Hedge steps up in FR and wins for New Zealand and the New Zealand team of Crosslink Kiwi Motorsport here in America. Congratulations to Hedge. He beats Persing, but this battle is going to go all the way to the end as well, between Roza and Ryan Shehan for the podium. 2 teammates again from Crosslink. Oh, it's nip and tuck. Roza's going to try to make one attempt here at the climb, but I think Ryan Sheehan's going to hold on. And Shehan does hold on to take 3rd place away. And Roza takes 4th. And Morris will take 5th, Bowlsbey 6th, Westling in 7th, and Hill in 8th position. But a good race from Ryan Shehan. More importantly, a good weekend for Ryan Shehan. That really has set him up for the weekend coming and the weekends ahead. Now, Ava, before you go, where can people find you? Where can, have you got social? Have you got all that sort of going? I know you're on the development team of the Howard, of the J. Howard development team. So where else might we be looking for? You got on Instagram, anything like that?
Yeah, I got Instagram. Ava Dobson 21, you know.
21, there you go.
Yeah.
And that's her number. She turns 15 on June 9th.
Yes.
And then she'll be racing with all of them in F4. We wish you well. Continue your learning curve. We look to see you out there on the race. We'll look out for you. I'll be looking out for your race at 21. Enjoy it. Enjoy it while you can. And have fun out there. My thanks to you. But don't forget, if you want to see the highlights on MAV TV of the Trans Am, you can tune into MAV TV, where TA2 series, the Big Machine Vodka Spike Coolers TA2 series, will be on air 8 p.m. Eastern on Thursday, March 16th, and the following hour, that's 9 p.m. Eastern on the same night, you can watch the highlights of TA, XT, XGT, SGT, and GT. Well, my thanks to Ava Dobson. Thanks for coming up here.
Thank you.
Enjoy your racing when it comes up next. And now the cattle are headed home, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to go home where the cattle, buffalo roam, as well as the cows. But that's the end from NOLA. We've had a great weekend here. My thanks to all of our co-commentators from F4 and FR. Also to Adam Andretti and Ben Sissel, our regulars, of course, and a big shout out also to Al Unser Jr., who helped us out, of course, as always, in Trans Am. Congratulations to two great cross-link Kiwi drivers in Ryan Shehan and Callum Hedge, winners of all three races today. Shehan taking 2 and Callum taking 1. It's been a good weekend for Gary Orton and his team, and Tina Larson. Well done to all of you. I'm Jonathan Green. We'll be back with more of the action very soon indeed.